Meghan Rodgers of Masterpeace Events. Meghan, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Travis.
Yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit more about your company and how you got started with getting into wedding event planning?
Yeah, my company is called Masterpeace Events. We are a full-service wedding and event planning company, and we'll plan everything from a corporate party to weddings to a week-long vacation in Italy. So whatever the event, we take great pride in focusing on all of those tiny details that are needed to make your masterpiece events.
Awesome, very cool. And then do you mainly focus on like full day or like months out planning with everything? Like what's your specialty?
Yeah, my specialty, I really enjoy doing full service wedding planning. That is kind of our bread and butter of the company. We also will do day of coordination as well. We enjoy being able to step in and help relieve a couple of all those tiny details and all those extra things that you can never plan for that are inevitable the day of, as a wedding is still a live event.
Yes.
And we enjoy being able to take that burden off of the couple and the families so they can truly enjoy the most important day of their life.
Awesome, very cool. Well, you're joining us today to talk about a pretty important aspect of the wedding, and that is picking out a venue. So, with picking out a venue, what are some of the tips and tricks that you have for us that brides and grooms should keep in mind as far as when they're trying to figure out what's going to be the best venue for them?
There are a couple of things that are, well, I'd say I have about some top 5 things that I really like to recommend to my couples.
All right.
The very first thing I would have a couple think about is your budget. That's the main thing that you want to think about going into the beginning of your wedding planning in general, and just finding a spreadsheet and putting down the basics of what you're needing is the first and most important thing to take a look at.
Okay.
The second thing I would say would be your guest count.
Okay.
The guest count is going to determine how much you're going to spend overall. That is the most important piece of what I would determine is going to either increase your budget or decrease your budget.
Sure.
And so you'll realistically understand what you're getting yourself into.
Sure. Yeah. And then with picking out those, obviously, those are 2 huge things, your budget as well as the people that are going to be attending. Now, is this including catering services, or is this focused more on just for the venue itself? Because I know sometimes that doesn't come hand in hand at venues.
Absolutely. Oftentimes venues will include in catering, or they'll require on-site exclusive vendors. That is an important piece to find out, as sometimes if you have to pay for both the venue and the catering in one place, that's going to increase your budget significantly. I always say that budget for both your venue and your catering shouldn't be more than half your budget. And your venue should be, I would say, at least no more than a third of your budget. So an important thing to remember is you're going to want that other half to be able to cover other important vendors like your photography and your makeup artist, your clothing, and any extra add-ons and gifts that you're going to be providing for your wedding party. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, so that's a really important piece just to consider. And then also another part is the location and the transportation piece for your guests. Are they going to be coming from out of town? Are they going to be driving to the venue? And if so, if they're driving to the venue, is there on-site parking available?
Yeah, that is huge.
That's a huge piece. A lot of downtown venues, especially in the Twin Cities area here or in a highly populated area, don't have parking available and offer valet or shuttling services. That's going to be a huge line item on your budget as well if you are planning to pay to get guests from the airport to the hotel, to your ceremony location, and then to your reception location. So that's a really important piece to remember.
Yeah, and some venues too, they can have a deal with a parking lot, saying yep, we have this parking lot, it's still paid, or you can pay for that as part of your services as well to your guests for coming here. So yeah, that's definitely a huge thing, especially like you said, in the cities here sometimes. It can be very limited on where you can go.
Absolutely, and especially for people that are traveling from out of state. Another important piece is to think about where are they going to be having the lodging? Where are they going to be staying in proximity to your venue? So in selecting that venue, it's important to decide, do you want it centrally located, or are you going to have it in a remote location and then have everybody shuttled out to that location?
For sure, sure. Okay, awesome. And so then, so that was 3 tips, correct? So we have 2 more tips coming our way, you said. So, all right, so the next tip is?
So next tip I would say is find out if your venue has a ready room and a green room. This is a really important piece because your wedding party, bridal party, and the groomsmen need separate spaces to get ready usually. And it is very nice to be able to have a place that's going to be your refuge and also a place to be able to store valuables. So typically the wedding day starts with doing hair and makeup for the bride and bridesmaids. And it's really nice to be able to have a space where you can relax and be close to the venue, if not actually at the venue. And also, I think it's very nice for your vendors to have a space to go. An important thing to remember is to treat them very well. They are typically working for 8 to 12 hours on your day to make it extra special and make it perfect. But they also need a place to store their items, and they need a place to be able to enjoy a meal and a break.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's something that, like you said, like it's huge because a lot of questions I get when I'm on a venue is people will be like, where can I put this bag? Or like, where's this at? Or you see happen all the time of like, oh, one of the guys forgot something at the hotel. So now he's going to be gone for an hour to backtrack to go get that one thing.
Exactly.
So that's where, if a venue doesn't have that, that's fine, but then you need to prepare for those contingencies as well.
Absolutely. That's a very important thing to remember. And our fifth piece, I would say, is have fun.
Yes.
There's a lot of details and there's a lot of things to think about when selecting your venue. And I think the most important thing for couples to remember is to stay true to themselves in reviewing their options. And remember that whatever venue you pick is going to be the best venue because you are marrying the love of your life.
Yeah, great tips, Megan. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
If you guys want to check out more about Megan's work as well as more information about picking out venues, we have a link to her website down below and her social media links as well. Again, Megan, thanks a lot. This was great.
Thank you so much, Travis. Thanks for having me today.